Hello and welcome to Monday Magic. It is the 6th of March, so we are well into March now, and this week sees us celebrating International Women's Day on the 8th of March, which is this coming Wednesday. So, I'm sharing these Monday Magics really as a way of sharing reflections, inspirations, things that set us up for the week and help you start the week with a positive intention. So today, and for the whole of March, I'm going to be sharing insights around what it takes to be a women leader in today's modern workplace. So as today is the same week as International Women's Day, I thought I'd kick off this session today, or this share today, with talking about some of the research that's come through about the state of play with regards to women and gender parity in the workplace. So part of my preparation for what I'm doing to celebrate International Women's Day, I'm doing various talks on Wednesday with clients. And part of my preparation for that was actually, looking up what's going on with regards to how women are getting on in the workplace and what's going on with regards to there being greater levels of parity. So I'm going to refer to the McKinsey report. Every year, McKinsey do research into the state of play of women in the workplace. And last year was no exception. They came up with their report. And what they came up with was really quite striking. Now, although, in previous years we've made some gains, what's really notable from last year's research is that women are leaving the workplace. So what I take from that is that women are far less likely to tolerate cultures that are not supportive of them than they ever used to be in the past. And that's really interesting to me. But I thought it'd be useful to share some facts and figures about this. And first of all, in terms of how many women are at that C-suite level within the boardroom, within most organizations and businesses, still only 1 in 4 women take a role at that level, at that leadership level in an organization. You then look at women of color, and women of color, it goes to 1 in 20. So there is a dramatic difference between women representing a percentage of that senior level and women of color representing it. So 1 in 20, which is quite an outstanding difference. But when you consider that women make up 50% of the population, we really need to be doing more work around how can we get that parity, how can we even up that playing field, which is one of the reasons why embracing equity is the hashtag or the theme of this International Women's Day. And there is something there to think about. How can we embrace equity and ensure that women have as many opportunities and that the playing field that they're on within the workplace is evened up? Because the way it seems to be occurring is that men still have an advantage. And I'm not saying, we could be very mindful of not demonizing men here. Men still have the advantage. The way organizations are set up do swing in terms of bias towards men rather than to women. And so I was curious to look a bit deeper as to why are women leaving so much in the workplace? Because the other thing that they noted in the research is that for every woman director that gets appointed into a business or an organization, 2 women leave. So, we're trying to plug the gap here and get the balance up. But the likelihood of being able to do that and to also fill the talent pipeline with potential women leaders coming through is going to be highly compromised if that is sustained, if every time a woman's appointed, 2 senior women leave the organization. So let's just explore a bit about why women are leaving. Well, first of all, what's top of the list is microaggressions. So those disparaging remarks that might put a woman down, which would not necessarily be said to a man. The way women may be held to account more stringently than a man might be for when there isn't a result that was expected. Women complaining that they get treated as inferior, and still this happens, and also get regarded as too young to do the job because they're a woman, because they get looked upon as, you're a woman in the role, you might look younger than a man, so therefore we're not going to give you as much authority and as much credit as we would. So all sorts of gender bias is still going on that's affecting women participating in the workplace and goes on at a very subtle level. That's the challenge with microaggressions and with gender bias, is it is so subtle, but it's also can be have such an impact on someone's confidence and ability to lead with authority. And ultimately what I'm getting is women are just getting fed up and have had enough, and that's why they're leaving. Another reason that women are leaving is because they feel overstretched. So there are lots of positive activities that leaders need to do in order to sustain the workforce, in order to make sure people stay engaged, feel like they want to belong and want to be part of the organizations within which they work. And women are particularly good at that. They're particularly good at making sure that people on their team are okay, that they're getting the development they need, that they're clear of what their tasks are, and they support their people within the workplace. Often this goes unrecognized, and often it takes extra time over and above what that woman leader's job might be. So that means on a second level, women end up being very overstretched and sometimes feeling overwhelmed by all that they have to do to contribute to the organization in a very positive way, but it goes completely unrecognized, both in a monetary way, but also in a very much visible acknowledgement way as well. And finally, the final reason women are leaving the workplace in their droves is because they seek a culture that is much more supportive. And so this is something, this is like throwing the gauntlet out to organizations now to think about what sort of culture are you creating? How much are you supporting women to be great in that culture? How much are you supporting well-being and paying attention to the flexibility, that the fact that women may well need to, they will work much better in a hybrid culture. They still take the vast proportion of childcare responsibilities. So when they're working, they will need greater flexibility on time and being able to be there for their children and their families. How much is there that well-being and flexibility available in your culture? Also, how much is there a genuine and real strategy around diversity, equity, and inclusiveness? Because again, women prefer cultures where well-being is taken care of, where there is flexibility, and where there is a real acknowledgement and strategy towards improving diversity, equity, and inclusiveness. And if you think about it, that's not just for women, that's for everybody at work would benefit from that. Well-being, particularly this came through in the pandemic, well-being, mental health are so important to ensuring that your workforce are geared up and prepared to engage and deliver the results that you want them to deliver. So there's really something there about making sure that for everybody, those values that women are seeking in the workplace are there and present in your culture. So, I'm talking about Magic Monday and setting us up for the week. What really is going to make a difference here is that if we become much more conscious, all of us become more conscious of our intention and of making sure that we embrace equity. If we can all do that, think about the difference that will make. Think about all those many ripples that all of us could cause that eventually become a tidal wave. Because it takes all of us to start putting in that level of consciousness around how we treat women, around our biases. And I'm not just thinking just women. I know this is Women's Day, but any difference, the women of color, people of different races, people with disabilities, people of different sexual preferences, all of that is about embracing the richness of the diversity that we have. And we can only do that by embracing equity and noticing and calling out when things are not set up in a way that allows people the equal opportunities that they need to progress. So that's the thoughts that I'm leaving us with today. Think about how you can embrace equity as you go into this week, but also as you go through your day-to-day work beyond this week in your life as a whole. It's something we have to maintain uppermost in our mind. So I hope this has been of value for you today. Do leave your comments in the comment box. It's always good to hear from people and to share your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you're embracing equity. Do watch out for my future Magic Mondays all this month, because it's all going to be about women and leadership and trying to balance up that equity between all the different genders. And also watch out for my special Leadership Live on the 23rd of March. We do keep posting about that, but do join me. We're going to look at women and ego and the differences in the way men's relationship with their ego and women's relationship with their ego. That's what we're exploring on the 23rd of March in our Leadership Live. I would love to see you there. Otherwise, have a great week and see you next Monday. Bye for now.